Good morning, everyone, and thank you ever so much for everyone who's joining this session and watching this replay back. I'm very much delighted on behalf of the PA Forum to be running the next In Conversation session with Chelsea, and we're going to kind of dive in a little bit more to do with all of that shortly. But this is part of our series of our CSR supporters sessions that we've had. We've had a really great kind of range of topics and conversations and panel sessions throughout the year, and it's a real nice opportunity to get to know a little bit more about our members, things that they're passionate about, but very much that kind of CSR focused. So this morning I'm absolutely delighted to be joined by Chelsea Ireland. Chelsea is an executive assistant office manager for the South Warwickshire University NHS Foundation Trust. Her business card must be massive. And it's actually Chelsea volunteers and gets involved with CoppaFeel and the breast cancer awareness kind of charity. But firstly, as we know, we're all very busy business support executives and office professionals. It'll be great to kind of introduce you to Chelsea and for her to tell a little bit more about that kind of day-to-day role and job that she actually does for the Trust. So hi Chelsea, thanks for joining.
Hi, thank you for having me. So I'm Chelsea. I'm an executive assistant and executive support team manager for a group of hospitals in the Midlands sort of area. So we cover South Warwickshire in Warwick, George Eliot in Nuneaton, all the way to Wye Valley in Herefordshire and Worcestershire. I'm the EA to the CEO and chair, alongside managing like our pool of executive assistants. So that's a little bit of what my job is, but yes, a very long business card. But it's always like, do you want the short version or the long version?
It's all the acronyms that you'll need to use as well. So that must be a really kind of challenging role in itself, and that very much kind of people focused and having the opportunity to talk to lots of different people as well. And so hats off to you, because it must be a very demanding role. But the point of this call, as we kind of said at the introduction, is just to find out a little bit more, because we appreciate that everyone gets involved in different things that they're really passionate about personally, but also that they like to volunteer and support from a CSR kind of element. And when we first kind of had this session, I know that Chelsea was really passionate to kind of come on the call and talk to you all about her volunteering role. So I'm not going to steal any more of your thunder, Chelsea. Tell me a little bit more about your volunteering role and what you do for the charity.
Yeah, so I volunteer for a breast cancer awareness charity called CoppaFeel. CoppaFeel are a youth sort of focused awareness charity, really. So we cover all ages, but we sort of go into schools and colleges, sort of 13 plus, really. We're happy to sort of do talks about our talks too, and we, as my role is a Boobette, and we is what we call ourselves.
No, great.
And yeah, so we go out to schools, colleges, businesses, anything really. We'll do stalls. I've done ones all the way from like probation services to working exhibitions for our founder Chris's exhibition of life, and we'll sort of talk about the importance of getting to know your normal, being breast aware, and spreading the importance of checking yourself, really, and getting to know your body, so that if anything does change, you feel empowered to go and get yourself checked. Basically, the charity came about after Chris, our founder, was diagnosed at the age of 23 with incurable breast cancer. So she basically wanted to create CoppaFeel with the aim that eventually CoppaFeel won't be needed, because we won't be diagnosing people late with breast cancer. And so that's what we sort of go out to try and do, so that people, when they go to a doctor and might be told, oh, you're fine, you're young, you can say, oh, I might be 20 or I might be 30, but that's not normal for me. So that's sort of what we try and do.
Yeah, and I love that kind of, it's that awareness, actually educating at a younger age and having that confidence to actually be able to speak out and have the confidence to go to a doctor or GP professional to kind of say things aren't right and things aren't as I'm expecting, and kind of highlighting that education piece is really important. And I love all your kind of LinkedIn posts that you know, but it's trying something different and new, and the different
Yeah,
approaches. And so yeah, you really need to check out some of Chelsea's LinkedIn posts that she kind of shares about those kind of awareness and those monthly checks and things as well. And you've got really kind of brightly coloured van and kind of stand kind of exhibition type thing that you take around. So it is kind of hopefully encouraging those positive conversations with
yeah,
students at the
it is.
young
It's all
age.
about doing it in a light-hearted way. Obviously, sticking to the facts and keeping, that it is important, but it's not about scaring people. It's about, I think a lot of people don't check because they're apprehensive, or they're scared of what they might find. But we're not trying to get people. You're not looking for breast cancer. That's the key thing to take away here. You're not checking yourself because you're looking for breast cancer. You're checking yourself so that you get to know what's normal for you at different points, like in your cycle, for example. Because some changes are completely normal, like some breasts might feel more lumpy at a certain time of the month. So it's about, that's what we're trying to get people to do. It's about taking the stigma away, making people feel less anxious, starting the conversations, because that's also one of the biggest sort of hurdles, really, is I don't think I ever spoke at university with my friends about checking my breasts, and so I think it's well, I did, but the people probably didn't.
Yeah.
So I think it's about if we can start that as well, that just alone can have a ripple effect, and
Yeah.
people start normalizing it, and that's the important thing, I think.
Yeah, definitely. So what kind of actually led you to kind of volunteer? I know you spoke about Chris and the kind of
Yeah,
the charity, but I know there's a bit of a personal story behind it, isn't it, Chelsea? If you're happy to
yeah,
share.
yeah, no, absolutely. So I got involved with CoppaFeel originally. I actually found them at university. So my mum had already been diagnosed with breast cancer at that point. So she was diagnosed in 2011. And so when I went to university, I instantly sort of saw breast cancer and was like, yeah, I want to get involved in what they're doing. And at that time, it was the what we call the uni boob teams, and they act similarly to Boobettes in the way that they go out and they around their campuses and their area in the university to get people checking their breasts and advocating for that. So they're sort of our the volunteering team. And so I was involved in them before I was a Boobette at university, and was with them while I was at university. And eventually I stopped sort of doing anything with them for a while when I left uni, and then I became back involved with them when I signed up to do one of the tracks, and I I got in touch with a Boobette who actually came to help me fundraise for my track, and
Yeah.
that's how I sort of got to know everything that the Boobettes do, and was like, this is something that I want to get involved in. And so that's how I sort of came about with CoppaFeel and what they stood for, and their message about, it's not about research, it's about awareness. And I think that's like, if my mom hadn't known, like obviously we lost my mom, but if she hadn't known what to look out for, we wouldn't probably have had the 6 years that we got with her. And I think that's the message that I sort of take away from my mom's experience, even though it ended in the way that we don't want it to, because we caught it and because she knew what to look out for, we did get those years we might not have had. And that's what I like about CoppaFeel, because my mom's breast cancer as well didn't appear in your talked about lump form, should we say, because it's not the normal form, it's just the most common thing that people sort of connect breast cancer with. So hers presented in appearance changes. It was hot to touch, which obviously some of the things that CoppaFeel really talk about, like on our checking cards, is that rippling, is the change in colour, that sort of stuff. And so everything that they sort of stood for was it was like it's aligned to everything that I'd experienced with my mom's breast cancer. And I was like, I just knew that we needed to talk about that more, because even before my mom was diagnosed, I didn't really know the different ways that it could present. And I think because of that, I was like, no, I really want to do what I can with this. So
yeah, well, thank you for sharing your personal story. And I suppose it's that opportunity that you now have to raise that kind of awareness and the importance of wearing it. And like you say, with your mum's situation, how it didn't actually present in the normal characteristics that you assume. And I think a lot of people that are listening to this kind of call back is like, you assume that it is kind of detecting a lump, but actually it is some of those signs that it's really important to kind of look out for the differences and things as well. So yeah, thanks for sharing that. I think you just kind of touched on it slightly, like with any kind of charities and awareness, as much as having like the volunteers like yourself that are actually giving up their time to educate others and to support others, it's also vital to have the kind of the fundraising and the financial support to be able to keep everything kind of going. And I know that after your kind of involvement at university, you then kind of took on that personal challenge to kind of get involved with the trek. So tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, so I originally signed up to, so for anyone that doesn't know, one of CoppaFeel's, or some of CoppaFeel's biggest fundraising events are what we call Coppa Trek with G. So they're headed up by Giovanna Fletcher. Most people have probably heard of her by now, but if not, she's an author, a podcaster, presenter. For my age people, so 30ish, you'll probably know her as Tom from McFly's wife. She's our she heads up all of the treks, hence Coppa Trek with G. And so I first signed up to do one in 2023, September 2023. I was meant to trek the French Alps, but not the French. Is it the French Alps? Tour de Mont Blanc. They're slightly different, I think.
There's still a big hill.
Yeah, still loads of mountains. So I was all on track to do that. You basically sign up and you commit to fundraising a certain amount of money. So I think our one was £2,750, and you basically, there's about 120 trekkers, so that's one of the treks. They do 2 this year. We've actually done 5, and that obviously brings in as much money as they can. I unfortunately ended up getting injured while I was training for that, and actually ended up having to have spine surgery last February. So that put a stop on me doing that. CoppaFeel obviously are amazing in every way, but they also transferred all of my fundraising to a different trek in the future, so that I didn't have to miss out, and didn't have to feel so guilty for everyone that had donated to me. So I then ended up doing the Isle of Skye this June. So that was another 5-day trek, 100 kilometres, across 5 days in the Isle of Skye in Scotland. So you basically do exactly that. You basically commit to walking 100 kilometres across Isle of Skye. So it's like a sort of like an island in those 5 days, and that can be, I don't know if anyone's been to Isle of Skye, but it's absolutely stunning. It's stunning even in the rain, and we had a lot of rain. A lot of rain. We had campsites flooding, people waking up in like puddles in their tents. It was the walking, I don't know how, felt like the easier part of the whole challenge. But you're walking through bogs and walking through rivers, and up mountains. It's no leisurely stroll around the park for 100 kilometers, that's for sure. But it's also, G describes them as like the most life affirming things that she's done, and I don't think that could be any further from the truth. I think when I was in it, I was literally phoning home, like, if I wasn't on this island, I'd be coming home. Like, but the cost and the hours to get off the island back to mainland was it would took me the week to do it. It was hard, but looking back on it, it was the most incredible like experience. You're surrounded by so many women and men and just people in general, of who have had some that have had no challenges, and they're there for different reasons, just for a physical challenge, or I walk with people that this is the first thing they've done since becoming a mom on their own, and that alone was with its challenge. Other people who were still going through treatment, stage 4 breast cancer, other people who had lost family members. It was just so many different reasons why people were there, but all committed to raising this money for this charity and this awareness. And you start off as strangers, you 100 people that you've never met before, and then by the end of the week you've just made friends for life. So you get split into teams. You're like team captains. So ours was Bryony Gordon, who's also a podcaster, very famously known for running marathons in her underwear. So we crossed the finish line in just our bras, and even like our charity challenge captains, who charity challenge basically are the ones that run the events for CoppaFeel, with CoppaFeel, keep us safe, make sure the fact that we actually complete the challenge. Even they get involved, and it's emotional, and it's just amazing, and you're just celebrating everything there is about life. You're crying, you're laughing, you're moaning your way through, saying I'm never doing anything like this again, but then somehow when you're home you're missing it, and like, how do I sign up for another one? So well, it's amazing.
Yeah, and I think absolutely amazing for you and the group of people that kind of completed that challenge. And like you say, that kind of the purpose of those new connections that you've made, and being able to then support each other afterwards, hopefully on another kind of opportunity or trek or involvement, but also just continuing to campaign and spread that awareness, and just trying to help others and things as well. So I know you completely smashed your target, so congratulations on that.
Thank you.
And so
over 3,000 I think it ended up being that I'd raised, which was I think that I should have actually looked at it. I can't remember what the actual figure for that trek was, but I think it was nearly 500,000. So, which is amazing. And if you've got 5 of those in a year, it's life changing for people, but also ensures that CoppaFeel can continue doing what they're doing.
Yeah, and that's it. It's about actually raising that vital funds and things to be able to keep on campaigning and doing everything that's involved in. So what will some of those funds be used for, or get involved in?
So they can be used for anything really. They will be used for some of the supplies. We obviously also offer a free text message service, so it helps fund things like that. It helps fund the Boobettes going out and doing what we're doing, so like our travel if we needed to get somewhere, and that it helps keeps us being able to go out and afford to spread the message. But we offer the best. I have to give it you so you can share it, but obviously I put it on my socials, the free monthly text reminder service, which I think is one of the best things I think that any charity could do, is the fact that it's literally not going to cost. Normally they're like, oh, it's £1 from your provider, or it's completely free. CoppaFeel from that, it's all you got to do is just text a number, and they'll send you a monthly reminder to check your chest. So we literally couldn't make it any easier for people to remember to do it. So it probably goes towards that stuff. but I can always find out. But there'll be obviously so much more that it goes to behind the scenes
Yeah, of
that
course. But
I'm
it
not even
is
aware of.
important. Yeah, it's important, like you say, just highlighting actually having that service, like, and
Yeah,
being able to provide that free of charge, and trying to just champion everything that the charity is doing, and just making sure that they've got more people involved and volunteering as well. So how do you, what is that commitment like with volunteering? Is there a requirement, as much as, like, I end up getting volunteering and doing far too much of things that I shouldn't be doing, but it's that kind of bringing it back to the day job. But, like, what's the kind of commitment? What does that look like in your volunteering role?
yeah,
I'm just thinking, if other people are watching this thinking, how do I get involved, or how can I
yeah.
kind of support?
Yeah, so it can be a challenge when, especially when you work full time and in a very demanding role. I'm sure that there's loads of people that are, but sometimes it does feel it can feel overwhelming. I think CoppaFeel is probably one of the best. I've not really done much volunteering, but it's probably one of the best volunteering um charities that I've worked with, that you can adapt it to how to fit in your lifestyle. So you don't have any commitment with that you have to give them about how many you'll do in a year, for example. As they always say, as long as it's working for them and working for us, then you're fine. Like, I think I haven't done a talk since probably before my trek in June now. I've got a couple lined up for in October for Breast Cancer Awareness Month, because obviously the reality is schools and universities are often in the week
Yeah,
when you're working. So, but there's so many boobettes that maybe are part-time, or this is what they do because they might be going through treatment, or their
yeah,
circumstances are different, and so we always be able to fill things. But yeah, mine is I just pick and choose weekend ones that fit in with my lifestyle, or if there's an online talk and I've not got a meeting at that time, I can just hop on and do the online talk, because they also do obviously virtual. Some people want virtual calls.
yeah,
So there's loads of ways you can be involved to make it to fit around your job. Sometimes, I wasn't even that long ago that I spoke to Emily, one of our team, like Boobette team, like sort of managers, and I was like, oh, I feel like I've not done anything in ages and I'm feeling a bit guilty. And she was like, no, like, not at all. Like, she's like, you're doing absolutely fine. Like, they really don't put any pressure on you. And even if I turned around tomorrow and said, actually, it's just not working for me, they'll be like, that's completely understandable. Like, come back to us if and when, like, you can fit something in.
yeah,
So it's absolutely fine. And working for the NHS does have its benefits, obviously, with some things when you're working for a health charity, because that I can have some flexibility with that, if, like, to do this, for example.
yeah.
And so I can talk to my boss and say, oh, I've got this really special, like, talk I want to do, like, but it's in working hours, and they can sort of let us work the time back and stuff like that. So I've never had a problem with it so far, of being able to
Yeah.
fit it in with my schedule.
Yeah, it's having that supported employee as well, isn't it? And I
Yeah.
know that you work hard in your day job anyway, so it is a give and take, isn't it, as well?
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people, it comes up a lot in the CSR supporter sessions that we have, that people have, like, volunteering days, or how can they kind of get involved. And like you say, with Breast Cancer Awareness Month next month, a lot of companies will be considering, what can they actually get involved in. So is there, I presume the website has got lots of information on there, how people can support, either financially, or being able to kind of volunteer and get involved? Is that how the best place to signpost everyone, Chelsea?
Yeah, so the CoppaFeel website is the best. It's got everything that you would need information wise. It's got even material packs that you can download or order for your company, for your school, and they have also, which is really I think good, a specific pack for those with learning difficulties, so, which I think just makes it even more accessible for people.
Yeah,
But they've got everything. There's also you can also type in there, like, book a Boobette, and you can book a talk for your business, and basically how that works is they'll get uploaded to like our volunteering system, and then we can go in and basically book whatever talk that we like, and if it's in the area or if it's one that we can get to, or we all have access to that, and as they come through we literally get to pick and choose what we do.
Yeah, and yeah, that's great to be able to have that kind of awareness, but also the importance of being able to kind of pick and choose and support where you can, but also where your skills and knowledge kind of fit and things with that. So yeah, that's absolutely fantastic. So before we kind of finish up the call, have you got any other treks in mind or big fundraising plans? Have you got
I don't
tempted
know.
now?
I'm very tempted. I did so I did the South Downs earlier in the year, and also Isle of Skye. So I think I'm slowly like recovered now. It's and I'm getting itchy feet to get out walking again. That's for sure. I never thought I would be the person that said that ever. I was very much like, oh my god, I cannot wait to get home and this be over. But it's definitely, you definitely get the bug for it. I think I'll 100% do a weekend one again. Whether I'll do a week-long one,
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I guess it will depend on the location. If anything is too mind-blowing not to sign up for.
Yeah, you'll get tempted.
Yeah, my husband has put in his interest to do one though next year, which is great. We always need more men to sign up and wave the flag, because it's not just women that it affects. And so yeah, I think I will definitely probably be out there doing more, as much as I always said I wouldn't.
You've got your walking boots now, you're ready to go.
Yeah, well, there's no excuse now. I've got the kit, which is very expensive. It's crazy actually how expensive like waterproof items and that actually are.
Yeah,
when you're like ticking them off and you're like, oh my god. But yeah, I think it's even easier when you've got the kit, because then you can just be like, well, like all I've got to do is train and fundraise. The fundraising thing might be hard though, when you've just asked all of your contacts to raise £3,000.
Yeah.
Maybe I have to give it a couple of years before I go back out asking them for money.
Well, hopefully it's something that we can, try and support from the PA Forum members side of things, because, there are things that members are looking to have, like chosen charities throughout the years, but also different organisations that are raising funds or trying to link things in with awareness days and things as well. So, yeah, we might have to have some further conversations to see how we can get involved and support.
Get involved more, and yeah, so. And honestly, anyone that needs anything, or it's just reach out. It's great. Like I've had one of my I woke up the other weekend actually to one of my friends who had texted me saying that she had found a lump, and she'd gone to the doctor. Luckily it was fine. It was just like a cyst, but she said if it wasn't for your socials I wouldn't have even been checking, and that's what it's all about. So any advice or any questions, or even just to talk, then yeah, I'm here.
Oh, well, thank you ever so much, and thank you ever so much for taking the time to talk to us today. And I'm sure we'll all be you'll have lots more followers on LinkedIn now, checking out all your socials, and hopefully everyone will kind of express an interest and go and have a look and see what CoppaFeel are all about and doing. So thanks ever so much, Chelsea.
No, thank you.